First video today, what we're going to dive into is the process. If you have a light on the dash, an ABS light or hill descent control light on, there's a high likelihood one of your sensors around the wheels are bad. And there's 4 on this thing, 1 on each front wheel, 1 on each rear wheel. That's what controls the hill descent control and the DTCs for the traction control and ABS. If you don't have Ford Scan, it's an app you'd use to diagnose different trouble codes. I'll put a link down below for your OBD2 reader, and then you can add a link, and then you have to sign up with the website for checking and getting a license to check your DTCs. You're gonna need that because I was able to identify with this plus just crawling around, I found a Tor wire in this corner. I'm gonna show you how to change an ABS sensor on a 2009 to 2014 F-150, or specifically in this case, a 2010 F-150 Raptor. So let's get into this. About to see a Christmas tree light up here in a second. Nice and strong. That's a heat shield rattle. There we go. All kinds of brake issues, TPMS sensors, 4-wheel drive, hill descent control. Gonna be fun. Okay, on to the next part. Got the brakes off, got the caliper off. Just take a gander, guys. This is what Midwest looks like when you don't take care of stuff. I'm gonna be fixing all this, but just look at all that corrosion, just unreal. We got a sensor that's bad, and it was broken off there, and it was broken off here. We got our new sensor, so we're good to go there. This is a mess to get off just from the rust, but it's a pretty easy job. But now we got to figure out how to get that broken part out. So when removing a broken ABS sensor that's left in there, I've read about guys taking a screw and drilling it into it and then vice gripping it out. So I put a little center punch. We're going to drill a small hole, not all the way through, as we don't want any contaminants going down in there. We're going to try this first. Okay, we got the little hole drilled through. Now we're going to see if we can put a screw in there and pull it out. Okay, we got the screw in now. We're going to see if this thing will pull out. There we have it. We got this thing routed through all the way up and connected. Gonna put it all back together. Check out this rust. That's all that came off of here. Just insane. All right, got it all back together. I cleaned up the rotors. They're probably shot, but I'm gonna give it a go anyhow. Once again, this whole point of this project is budget build Gen 1 Raptor. So we're trying to do stuff. Can we afford to buy nice brand new stuff? For sure, but we're trying to prove a point. You can make a lot happen on a budget here. So brake rotors actually look like they're in pretty decent shape. Pads look good. But you can see the sensor all ran up in here. You can see my harness issues I got to work on here. So guys, there is the moment of truth. All my airs are off the dash. Amazing. Oh my gosh, everything is good. Awesome. All right guys, I got pretty lucky on that one. That sensor literally I picked up is aftermarket, I think for $15. Here's something I'd share with you. When you are looking at ABS sensors, and a lot of sensors on the Raptor, specific to the Raptor, some of these sensors, not all of them, but some of them are specific to the Raptor. You can go on Rock Auto, you can go to O'Reilly's Advanced Auto, and I found some of the sensors were not correct. They didn't have this right length of them. So do your homework to make sure you get the right wheel speed sensor if you have this issue, so that you got the right amount of length and droop in the sensor, or otherwise you'll be off-road or fully extended suspension travel and you can mess it up. Fortunately for me, it worked, and it was literally like a $14 sensor. I'll put a link down below of the sensor I used. It worked good for me. It's aftermarket. Use at your own risk, because I've had a lot of issues with this truck with you using aftermarket components. And I found some of these vendors on Amazon will change suppliers, so keep that in mind. Once again, this is a budget build, so we're trying to focus on low-cost solutions, and it worked for us in our case. Do your homework. Make sure you get the right sensors. Also, when you're checking the ABS sensor, one thing to think about, especially if you have a front ABS sensor issue, check to make sure your hub bearings feel solid. This is also a great time to save yourself some time, money, and effort. Check out your CV shafts. Make sure none of the bellows are blown out and that looks good. Make sure your 4-wheel drive works correctly. These are the opportunities. If you had to get into your 4-wheel drive system, you're already jacking up the front end to remove the caliper. You're already removing the front rotor. If you have an issue with your 4-wheel drive, you got an IWE that's bad, this is the perfect time frame, because you've already removed half of the components you need to get to your ABS sensor. I went into this repair fully expecting to have an IWE bad or a CV joint bad or a wheel bearing bad, and I would just replace that whole side and just be done with it. because then I'm saving the duplicity of labor and doing this repair. So think this thing through when you're doing little repairs. It can save you time down the road. Or if you're paying someone to do the repair, it can also save you labor, because if someone has to change an IWE, they're already in there to replace some of these other side and some of these other components. Anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope this Project Raptor series is helpful for your F-150 or your Raptor needs. Thanks for watching.